this is Mark Moore, aka Tuxedo Mark, at various places on the internet. It is Thursday, November 30th, 2006, 11:58 a.m. Please don't mind the timestamps. I timestamp everything, it's just a habit of mine. And I'm just going to talk to you for a bit about work, specifically working in supermarkets. Now, I have written an extensive essay on this subject. I have an account at fictionpress.com. If you go to www.fictionpress.com/tuxedo-mark, you can read my essay there. So I won't go into as much detail here, but I'll try to tell you about working in supermarkets. I have worked at 3 different supermarkets from June of 2000 to November of 2001. I worked at the Crystal River Cash and Carry. It's a supermarket chain down here in Florida. From July to September of last year, 2005, I worked at the Homosassa Cash and Carry, and Homosassa is my town that I live in. And I moved up to Illinois last October 1st and stayed there until late March of this year, 2006. I lived with my sister, and the plan was I was going to try to get a higher paying job than I had down here, because I was the receptionist here for 3.5 years. And my mom wanted to move up to Illinois to get away from the hurricanes, so we figured I'd move up to Illinois, get a higher paying job, and we'd take out a mortgage and get a house up there, and that didn't happen. So I moved back down here. The only job I was able to get up there was as a bagger and a cart pusher. Officially I was called a courtesy clerk at a Jewel in Niles. And Jewel is a supermarket chain that's owned by Albertsons. Anyway, in Cash and Carry, both times I was a night stalker, and I couldn't handle it either time, because basically I would just almost fall asleep. In fact, sometimes I think I did fall asleep. I couldn't get enough rest during the daytime. I couldn't make myself fall asleep in the daytime to work effectively at night. And so I wouldn't recommend that. Plus, there's the fact that the night crew guys, they smoke, so if you don't smoke, tough, you'll have to deal with it. I don't smoke, I hate working around them. Also, they would put on their own music. I mean, I don't like the store's radio station, because they just play popular contemporary music. I don't like that. But the stock guys, first Cash and Carry that I worked at, they played 98 Rock, which was the local heavy metal station. No thanks. Second Cash and Carry that I worked at, there was this one, the supervisor, I guess his name was Chris. He played his CDs that he brought in, and he loved to listen to jam bands that just play their guitar for forever, 10-minute songs of them playing guitar. I couldn't stand that either. And he has a Jerry Garcia tattoo on his arm, and okay. So my advice is, don't work as a night stalker unless you really, really, really have to. And now the other major job I had, as I said, was bagger and cart pusher at Jewel. As you know, as I mentioned, Jewel's in Illinois, so you have to go out and collect carts for an hour at a time. No matter what the weather conditions, if there's wind blowing in your face, if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's really cold, you still have to go out there and get carts. sometimes they'll move you down to a half hour if it's like really cold, you know. They rotate every half hour, but it was still annoying. And if I wore like a poncho and the wind was blowing, it would flap in my face. I couldn't see the cars coming at me from either direction, so that was bad. And the other job I had was bagger. I would, bag customers' groceries, and some things that really annoy me about the customers is we use plastic bags by default, but sometimes the customers would request paper bags. I'm not sure why. I guess they think they're sturdier, which they're not, I don't think, but they would request paper, which would annoy me because then I didn't have the paper bags on my side, and yet the customer would ask me for the paper bags. So then it would be up to the cashier to get the paper bags out and slow down the lines. Also, sometimes customers would request paper in plastic or plastic in paper, double paper in plastic, double paper, double plastic. It was stupid. I mean, why? It's just bagging. Okay, that didn't make any sense. Customers would feel it's perfectly alright to open up their sodas or their food and start eating or drinking in the store before they pay for their food. No. And yet, one time, some guy was drinking a Diet Coke, a customer, and he sat down. I guess he didn't close the bottle well enough. It spilled all over. And even after he told the manager what happened, he said, I was sipping on it and it spilled over. The manager got him a new bottle to keep him satisfied. That was stupid. Anyway, apparently the customer can do no wrong and the management does everything they can to keep him satisfied. Yeah. So, let me think if there's anything. Oh yeah. If I'm out collecting carts, sometimes the customers would push the carts my way, assuming I pick them up. They leave them out all over the place, on the medians, out in the middle of driving lanes, so that the customers that are driving cars have to dodge the carts. Yeah, and the customers that are driving would drive 50 miles per hour in the parking lot. I'd have to watch out for them so they don't run me over. And that's all that I can think of at the moment, so I guess that's it, and it is 12:06 p.m. and thank you for watching.